Welcome back to the Walnut.
Which number is opposite to 1? Okay, so we have 3 images. Now what exactly we are going to do? Pick any 2 images. That means either 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, or 2 and 3. You never know which one is easier for you. So take a look at it. So first of all, look at 1 and 2. Is there any common number between 1 and 2? We don't have any common number between 1 and 2. So there's no comparison possible. So about 1 and 3. 1 and 3, there is a common number 1. That's what I see. So here 3 and 5, there's 2 and 4. The common number is 1. Okay, so if you have a common number, let's mark the common number. Now what's the peculiarity of the common number? If the common number appears exactly at the same position, then you can apply rule number 1 or rule number 2. But in this case, the common number doesn't appear exactly at the same position. Here it's top of the dice, here it is at one side of the dice. It's not exactly at the same position. So rule number 1 cannot be applied, rule number 2 cannot be applied, rule number 3 we need to have 2 common numbers, so rule number 3 cannot be applied. The only rule we have left out, only possibility we have left out is rule number 4. In order to apply rule number 4, what do you have to do? Go clockwise from common number. So 1 to 5, 5 to 3. And here 1 to 2, 2 to 4. So what you get is 1, 5, 3. 1, 5 and 3. And here you start from the common number 1, 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 4. And now what we are looking for, which number is opposite to 1? Which number is opposite to 1? Well, see that? The number which doesn't appear on these 2 images. What is that number which doesn't appear on these 2 images? That's 6. So 1 must be opposite to what? 6. And if they ask you the question which is opposite to 5, so you have the answer right here, ready. 5 is opposite to 2. And of course, 3 is opposite to 4. 4 is opposite to 3. So all the answers, all the opposite pairs are already here. 5 is opposite to 2. 3 is opposite to 4. 1 is opposite to 6. And you may notice that 3 plus 4 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. And 1 plus 6, 1 is opposite to 6. So 1 plus 6 is 7. So that means this is a standard dice. It's not an ordinary dice, it's a standard dice. That is fine, right? But you never know. You cannot expect that you may get a standard dice for the question. Sometimes it may happen like this. Okay, that is fine. All right. So if it is a standard dice or if it's ordinary dice, it doesn't make any difference for us to answer this question. We apply the rule, and if it's a standard dice, it's okay. If it's an ordinary dice, perfectly all right. We are not really bothered with whether it's a standard dice or ordinary dice. As long as we get the answer, it's good. And sometimes if they ask you the question, whether it's a standard dice or if it's an ordinary dice, so how do you differentiate between that? Look at the numbers at the opposite faces. All the opposite pairs, each pair is opposite to, each pair the sum is 7, like this. 3 and 4 is 7, 5 plus 2 is 7, 1 plus 6 is 7. In that case it is a standard dice. Otherwise it's ordinary. So I'm not really expecting such kind of questions for the exam. They never ask you whether it's ordinary dice or it's a standard dice, or they may not ask you to differentiate between an ordinary dice. These are essay type questions. Here in mental ability we have only objective type questions. Okay, this is what it is. 11. Try this. Which are the following dice possible to form from the given open dice? Given open dice is here. So this is what the format we have, open dice. And when you fold it up to make a dice, what kind of dice you get? The answer choices are given. So take a look at it. Here we go for elimination method. So which are the answers not possible here? For example, the first one, C and F. Look at that. C and F are adjacent. Perfectly all right. C and F are adjacent. At the same time, C and E. Well, C and E can be adjacent. Okay, perfectly all right. How about F and E? F and E must be always opposite. F and E are always opposite. But in this case, F and E are adjacent. That means this dice cannot be formed from this open dice. So first answer choice doesn't work. Second answer choice. Well, F and A. So F is here, A is here. So F and A can be adjacent. The reason for that, F and E are opposite. If F and E are opposite, no other letter can be opposite to F. So any other letter like A or B or whatever it is, it must be adjacent to F. So F and E are opposite, then F and A must be adjacent. Then F and D. Well, F and E are opposite, then F and D are adjacent. Perfectly all right. Then how about A and D? A and D are adjacent as well. The letter opposite to A is C. So A and C are opposite, so D must be adjacent. Okay, so we get it. So this is possible to form, right? Now, if you get an answer, and if you don't have an answer like either A or B or like B and C, those kind of confusing answer choices, if you don't have that, then there's no need to go for the next answer possibilities. You got the answer, end of the story. But just practice purpose, classroom practice purpose, let's take a look at the other two images as well. Is it possible to have these two images? These two images, is it possible to form these two images from the given open dice? Check it out, D and B. So D and B, D is here, B is here. So well, F and E are opposite, A and C are opposite. So we have two opposite pairs. Total 6 letters. Which are the letters left out? It must be D and what else? B. So D must be opposite to B. So 3 pairs we have. F is opposite to E, F and E. And we have A is opposite to C, D is opposite to B. So this case, D must be opposite to B. Here, D and B are given as adjacent. That means that image cannot be formed from this open dice, or that dice cannot be formed from this open dice. Next one is D. So we have A and C. Well, A and C must be always opposite. So this case, given us A and C are adjacent, it's not possible. So the only possible answer we have is B, answer choice B. Alright, next one. Which number is opposite to 4? Which number is opposite to 4? Take a look at that. So number 4 is common in both images. At the same time, it doesn't appear at the exact same position. So think about it. Look at image number 1 and 3. You can just think about that as well. 1 and 3, is there any common number? Of course, you can see a common number. And image 2 and image 3, any common number? Well, we have 5 to 4. Okay, we have a common number. What is that? 2. 2 is a common number between image 2 and image 3. So different ways of looking at that question. So I want you to take a look at that. I'm pretty sure many of you have the answer by this time. Okay, so let's take a look at that question. Question number 12. And which number is opposite to 4? We are looking for the number opposite to 4. So here, first of all, image number 1 and 2. What's the peculiarity of 1 and 2? Only common letter we have, common number we have is 4. Right? So if it is only common number, if that doesn't appear exactly the same position, we have to go for rule number 4. So clockwise arrangement. If you arrange clockwise, what do you get? 4, 1, 3. So 4, 1 and 3. And second one, 4, 2 and 5. So 4, 2 and 5. So see that 1 and 3. 1 is opposite to 2. 3 is opposite to 5. And the number which doesn't appear over here is 6. So 6 must be opposite to 4. So 4 is opposite to 6. These two images alone sufficient to get the answer. How about like if you go for 1 and 3. 1 and 3, if you look at that, what do you see there? 1 and 3. Image 3. So if you look at 1 and 3, what I see here, the number 3. It's here and number 3 is here. The common number appears exactly at the same position. Okay, so if common number appears exactly at the same position, then you can apply rule number 1 or rule number 2. If you apply rule number 1, you get the number opposite to 3. The number which is opposite to 3 from these two images, what it is missing here? It's 5. So 3 is opposite to 5. Right? So, but that is not really useful for us. What we need? we need to find the number which is opposite to 4. So what we do, apply rule number 2 here. So common number here, and when you apply rule number 2, what is that? If one common number exactly at the same position, then you know what, the other numbers which appear exactly at the corresponding positions, so that means 4 and 6 must be opposite, and 1 and 2 must be opposite. In this case, what we are looking for, the number is opposite to 4. Number is opposite to 4 is 6. Done. So we are getting that answer from the comparison between 1 and 3, image 1 and image 3. So ultimately you get the answer, what? 6. 4 is opposite to 6. And you can get that answer in a couple of different ways, right? So it is your choice whether you have to compare between image number 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, or even if you compare, let's say 2 and 3. What happens if you compare between 2 and 3? Is there any common number here? Yes, 2 is a common number. So we'll take a look at when we compare between 2 and 3, do we get the same answer or not? How about we check it out? Let's try that. And in between, I want you to try as well. So I'm just kind of like, getting rid of all the markings here. The common number, 2. And the common number doesn't appear at the exact same position. So one common number, and it doesn't appear at the exact same position. So we have to go for what? Rule number 4. So 2, 5, 4, 2, 5, 4. And 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6. So that means 4 is opposite to 6, or 6 is opposite to 4, doesn't matter. So ultimately, the number which is opposite to 4 is 6. So if you compare between image number 1 and 2, you get the same answer. 1 and 3, you get the same answer. 2 and 3, you get the same answer. Only difference, you may apply different rules. If it is comparison between 1 and 2, you apply rule number 4. Comparison between 1 and 3, you apply rule number 2. And comparison between 2 and 3, you apply, which rule is applicable there? Rule number 4 again. That's what it is. Okay, let's go for the next question. Alright, so they want to make it a bit more challenging. So here we have 4 images. And you know what, beauty of this question, well, 4 images are given, but it is not really necessary that you have to have all the 4 images to find the answer. So take a closer look and find out which are the images we require to get the answer. What is the question? Which number is opposite to 5? So let's take a look at that. Number opposite to 5. So let's look at image number 1 and 2. So image number 1 and 2, what do you see here? The common numbers are 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Here we have 1, here we have 4. So if you apply rule number 2, rule number 3, so what do you get? 6 opposite to 3. 6 must be opposite to 3. However, what we are looking for, which number is opposite to 5? So the rule number 3, which is applied on first and second image, doesn't make any sense. It doesn't give us the answer. Now what is next? Any other possibility? How about 1 and 3? If you apply that rule between 1 and 3, let's check it out. What kind of rule can be applied between 1 and 3? So 1, 4, 6, 2, 3, 5. 1, 4, 6 and 2, 3, 5. Is there any common number between 1 and 3? No, doesn't work. How about like 1 and 4? 1 and 4, if you look at the common numbers, we have 4, and here we have 4 as well. No other number common. So 4 and 4 are here. So that means if one common number, it doesn't appear exactly at the same position, then what we are looking for? What kind of rule? It must be rule number 4. Rule number 1 and 2, we cannot really apply that rule number 1 and 2. So if rule number 1 and 2 we cannot apply, rule number 3 is we have to rule out, because rule number 3 we need to have 2 common numbers. In this case only 1 common number. So we have to go for rule number 4. So how do you apply it? 4, 6, 1. Clockwise arrangement. So 4, 6 and 1. And here we start from 4, 4, 3, 5. 4, 3 and 5. So what you get it? The number opposite to 5. So 5 must be opposite to 1. So number opposite to 5 must be 1. So that is between image number 1 and image number 4. Is there any other possibility? I'm pretty sure some of you have spotted that possibility here. Look at image number 2 and image number 4. So image number 2 and image number 4. What do you get there? So here we have 3 and 4. 3 and 4 common. Image number 2 and image number 4. So what is it? 3 and 4 are common. 3 and 4, 3 and 4. Here we have 3 and 4, 3 and 4 are common. If you have two common numbers which are common on two images, then you can apply rule number 3. So if you apply rule number 3, 1 must be opposite to 5. So again, we get the same answer. So 5 is opposite to what? 1. So ultimately the answer is what? 1. That's the case we have. Of course, you can compare, if you want, you can compare between image number 3 and 4 as well. 3 and 4. So is there any common number? Yes, 3 and 5 are common. If 3 and 5 are common, and what we get is 2 is opposite to 4. But that doesn't help us. What we are looking for, which number is opposite to 5. So that's different ways to analyze that question. As quick as you get the way to get the answer, or which are the images to be compared, then it is pretty easy for you to get the answer. If we can spot out the images which are kind of potential combination to give you the answer, then you will get the answer in a few seconds. That's the advantage of these questions. Well, some of the questions, it would be time consuming as well.
We have done a number of challenging questions from this area. Well, if you need to have additional questions for practice, take a look at our website walnuttraining.org and click on study materials. That will take you to a download page with a number of questions, and you can pick and choose the type of exam you want to appear for. So there are questions which are for bank exams, campus placement. You can see the questions for UGC NET, and you can see the questions for NTSE as well. So choose the area you like to have. Thanks for watching.